What would it look like for Jamal Murray to make a leap?
Do the unthinkable and have a regular season performance that would be something like what he's done in the playoffs. I mean, it's consistency for Jamal Murray. It's always just about consistency.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Jamal Murray. The year of Jamal. Many are saying.
I've heard that.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Jamal Murray player preview. I got D-Line with me. I got Harrison Wind with me. Let's jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Our big question. What would it look like for Jamal Murray to make a leap? D-Line, what would that look like?
Well, I mean, obviously there are things like he could be an all-star. He could do the unthinkable and have a regular season performance that would be something like what he's done in the playoffs. I mean, it's consistency for Jamal Murray. It's always just about consistency. We've already seen what he's capable of. We've seen it years ago. We just don't ever see it all the time. And so if he can get to that place where it's just an automatic, Jamal Murray is going to be a killer every night, that's the leap.
Yeah. For me, statistics can definitely help. But maybe more than that, it's a mindset from Jamal Murray. Guys that average 25 points a game in this league, 30 points in a game in this league, they come into every game just knowing they're scoring 25 or 30. Mm-hmm. They're just going to get that. Jamal, and I respect it a lot, he comes into every game and feels out each game for what it is and adjusts his game on the fly. Maybe that's the better route to go, but I wonder if, when we're thinking about his scoring leveling up, it's a mindset of, I'm just going to score 30 tonight, and him thinking that way heading into every game.
I'm with Harrison in that. I agree. Jokic went through this himself. He used to have emotional funk nights. He used to be dominant, but just not very assertive, very aggressive. And then all of a sudden, one year he came in and was like, no, I'm a killer. Every night, great games, and seemed like he was motivated to be aggressive. And then the rest is history. I think you're right that a lot of this starts with how does Jamal Murray approach it? Is he more of an aggressive player who's punching, not reacting to it, but punching first? But I think there's another layer to this that I think is interesting, D-Line, and that is, tell me if you've seen the same thing. I feel like Jamal the leader has really been more noticeable now. We're hearing the stories about taking guys under his wing. I just wonder if he sees what it took to get a championship, and he's like, oh, it's on me more than I thought to get these guys ready. And I just think that this year, leader Jamal, we might see more than ever before.
It's entirely possible. I mean, this team is sort of led by committee in that Nikola Jokic does not necessarily want to be the vocal leader. He's the spiritual leader. Oftentimes there needs to be somebody that steps up and actually is the vocal leader. Sometimes it's Jamal, sometimes it's one of the vets. But this team as a whole, I mean, obviously they achieved the highest goal last season and they saw what it took. And so there's something about just maturity and finding out, who you are in this world and in this league that is going to be applied to this next season. The sky's the limit, really, because we know what the ability is.
Right.
Yeah. There's a vacancy there for the vocal leader, for the rah-rah type of leader with this team. My opinion is it's Michael Malone right now. Mm-hmm. He's a lot of times the face of this team. I don't think he wants to be the face of this team going forward. Maybe it can be Jamal.
But I even think it's mentorship, because that's the thing is I just feel like Murray he's led emotionally the way you guys are talking about, he has the fire in him and those types of things. But I do wonder if he looks at it and he goes, I need Julian Strawther to be better than he is. And I've got 8 months to get him there, 7 months to get him there. Peyton Watson, all these guys, I need to get them. And that to me is a process players go through where they realize it is a little my responsibility.
I think this is about maturity, and you stop looking at players on your team as rivals. And,
right.
Especially when you're talking about young players that are coming up together, who's going to be the one? Jamal Murray now looks at a player I assume, Julian Strawther, as not somebody that he's to prove himself in the face of. It's somebody that can actually help him get to that next place, which is hard to imagine. I mean, they're already starting from the dominant 16. That's the funny thing about all these things. It's man, how can they get better? That's can they get better?
Can they get better?
Is it possible?
How do they get from 16-4 to 16-3?
Oh, let's go, baby. I hope we find out. You guys, keep your distance. I have a shocking stat.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Stay grounded. Stay grounded.
Definitely stay grounded. My shocking stat, $157.8 million. 157.8. That's how much more money Murray can add to his contract if he makes All NBA. Now, this is a little bit, misleading because he could sign a 3-year extension right now at a lower per year number versus if he gets All NBA, he can sign a 5-year extension at a higher per rate number. But nonetheless, that's really what he's looking at, almost $160 million more dollars. So I ask, All NBA, any of the All NBA teams would be huge for him financially. Should we be concerned at all that might be a distraction for him?
No. I don't think Jamal thinks like that. I don't think he's going to operate like that. I don't think he is so obsessed with the money that that's going to cloud his season. I think it could be in the back of his mind and be in the back of anybody's mind. But
right, that's the thing.
I don't think he's the type of guy, from what I know about him, that's going to totally change up his game to reach for that All-NBA spot.
I mean, it would be good if he did. That'd be awesome if Jamal Murray was an All-NBA player.
Right.
I think it will influence him, but I think that's a good thing. Like, there's something beyond just wanting to prove himself. I mean, there's different levels of accomplishment that you get in your profession. He's gotten the part where, I mean, he still needs to earn accolades.
Right.
He obviously got the championship. But then money also important, he's a good Canadian boy. I mean, I haven't done the math. How many Canadian dollars is that? I haven't done the math.
Oh man, that's a lot of Canadian dollars. I haven't done the math. I'm sure he has though.
That should have been the big question. What's the conversion rate?
Break it down into toonies.
I think you kind of hinted on this, and it was kind of your point that I think that these two goals, we're lucky they kind of run together.
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
great.
They're not in opposite direction. Now it can be, late in games. Does the dial go a little more to scoring because the game winner stick in people's mind, the narrative and this or that.
Makes them.
Yeah, he does make them. I know, but I'm just saying it could become a small thing. But I do think that the goals run congruent. I do think that his running mate Nikola Jokic probably also has this goal to get him All NBA. He's probably like, hey, that would actually be really cool if you were All NBA this year. And I think those things go together. But I will say, this has nothing to do with a person's character. I think it's human nature. You know the score, you know the numbers. And I do think that creates a distraction, whether you can overcome it or not. I do think it's something that weighs on your mind that I have $160 million extra dollars waiting for me if I just hit this one benchmark. You're going up against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in Oklahoma City. I expect Murray to be dialed those nights. You're going up against Phoenix.
Awesome.
I think he's going to be dialed. Anthony Edwards getting a lot of All-NBA buds. I expect him to be dialed for those games.
How much of a capitalist I am based off of this conversation. I want Jamal to want the money more than anything. I want him to kill SGA.
All right, let's get bold with Jamal, guys, shall we?
Please.
All
do
right,
it.
bold predictions. Harrison, you want to start us off?
My bold prediction is Jamal Murray averages 8+ assists per game. His career high is just a little over 6. That was last season. This would be a big jump. But I think he makes it because that's an area where I could see him making the leap and his game leveling up. His passing, his vision. We saw that in the playoffs and finals last season. That part of his game took a big jump, I thought. And I think it continues again, throughout this season. I think he's seeing the floor better than he ever has. I think the game is as slow for him now as it's ever been, way slower than it's been even, last regular season or the year before. And he's just also got the talent around him to rack up assists, obviously with the starting 5. But hey, Julian Strawther on the bench unit would be a nice guy to get some assists to as well.
I love this. And you know who also has noticed his passing? Nikola Jokic. And I will say this, D-Line. One cool title that he owns? Player to increase his points per game the most from regular season.
It might be the
playoffs.
coolest title in basketball.
It's kind of the coolest. I always wonder if you look at that and go, yeah, I could keep that going. Maybe I just pass all year. I feel like Yoke does this, passes all year, then playoffs go. He's like, nah, I'm a scorer. You want to get bold?
I mean, my bold take goes in direct opposition, flies right in the face of what you just said.
Let's go.
I think he's going to average the most points of his career this season
and
become an all-star. I really do think it's going to happen. I mean, being an all-star, first off, that's a vote. There's nothing objective about it, or nothing that is outside, it's not just ordained by God himself. Like, you just need to convince people to vote for you. And he's now in the spotlight. He's now a player that people are paying attention to. He has that notoriety, which is the first requisite to get people to even think about voting for you. I really think that people saw in the bubble like how transcendent Jamal's game can be, and then last year, I mean, what are you going to say?
Right.
And I do think that I think that he's going to want to score more points. Like, I think that he's going to come out hungry to do it, and I don't think there's any reason why he can't, because his point totals have been unnaturally low. Like, that's why his point totals jump up more than any other player in the playoffs, is because he's injured. He's slower than normal. There are any number of reasons. Legs, for example. Like, there's all these things. It's like, why is he not scoring more? This man is a killer. He's just not, for whatever reason, showing in the regular season. I just think that this entire team sees themselves for who they actually are now, and he'll approach the season that way, and we'll see success follow.
I think you guys are both right in the thought process here, that I think he's going to be a better passer than ever. I think he's going to be a better scorer than ever. But you know how many points Jokic scores per game?
200.
24.5.
However much the defense dictates.
Yeah.
Like, he goes into a game, and if you say, oh, we got to make him a scorer, 40 points. You say, oh, we're going to make him a passer, 17 assists. I think that's going to be Murray this year, where he's probably going to have a lot of 30-point games, and he's probably going to have a lot of 18-point games, and it won't be about how good or bad he plays. It's like, that's just what the defense coverage called for, and he got it, which is why my bold prediction is he is going to have a 15-assist game.
Wow.
Because I think his numbers are going to probably go up. Like, I would predict 24 points, 7.5 rebounds. Like, a little, both numbers go up a little bit. But I think it's going to be the outliers, high scoring games, high assist games that we see.
I love that, because that means defenses are so scared of him that they're adjusting, maybe not to Nikola Jokic that night, maybe just to him.
Maybe it's to both, and they just quit adjusting, and they're like, you know what, it doesn't matter.
They just quit.
We just, we're going
They're
zone.
like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're just going zone. Let's hope they miss their wide open shots. Jamal Murray, man, the year of Jamal. I think all of our bold predictions predict the year of Jamal.
I think we
in
just
different
decided
ways.
it is the year of Jamal.
I don't think there's any way it can't be the year of Jamal. I mean, honestly, like, outside of unforeseen circumstances, like Jamal Murray coming in healthy, motivated, and mature.
Yeah.
He's coming in with all of these things that he has not come into camp with before, or the season with before, since a very long time ago. It's the year of Jamal.
I can't wait. Guys, let's know what you think in the comments. Give us your bold prediction. Get spicy, though. Try to get us a 5-pepper take about what you think is going to happen with Jamal this year. Hit the like button on the way out, and we'll see you on the other side.
We all silly like the mayor.